Good afternoon, everybody. It's Becky with the Sweet Tea Shed, and I am out here today. I'm making some crates. I'm decoupaging napkins to crates. So I have a few orders for these, and I thought I would just kind of stop what I was doing and just do a quick little tutorial and throw it out there on my YouTube channel and share the link with some of my other sites. But so really easy to do, and these are so adorable, and you can use them for so many different things. You can I've got these in my house with different types of napkins decoupage to them. Also, sometimes I just stain them, and they're really cute when they're just stained. But this is just an actual little mini crate, and I have taken white chalk paint. Whenever I craft, I pretty much use white chalk paint on about anything that I use. So this happens to be the Rust-Oleum, and this is linen white, but whatever white you have, you might have Waverly, whatever, but I always use chalk paint. I suppose you could use acrylic, but I'm just a chalk paint kind of girl. So, so I've got one coat of chalk paint on this, and then once that dries absolutely completely, I usually let it dry for, I don't know, about a day, I guess. But after it dries, I put 2 coats of Mod Podge. Now this just happens to be a little bottle that I got from, I think, the Dollar Tree, I don't know, Walmart somewhere, and I just reuse it. I have a big gallon bucket of Mod Podge, and I just pour more Mod Podge into it, but I love these little ones. This one says that it's gloss, but I'm sure it's probably, nope, this one looks like it's gloss. There is a difference, a little bit of difference. There's a gloss Mod Podge, there's a matte Mod Podge, there is a dishwasher safe Mod Podge, there is a fabric Mod Podge. There's all kinds of Mod Podge out there, so whatever you like to use. But my 2 favorites are the gloss and the matte, and I just use those on everything. I interchange them. To me, they seal the same. They're the same. The gloss has a little bit more of a glossy texture, duh. But I always seal mine with Krylon triple gloss spray. This is what I seal everything that I do that has a seal on it. And anytime you work with a napkin, you always have to seal it. Some people seal with Mod Podge, totally fine if that's what you do. Some people seal with engine heat spray, totally fine. My spray of choice is this triple thick crystal clear glaze, and it happens to be from Krylon. Use whatever works for you. Everybody has a little bit of a different opinion, and they like different things. So you use what works for you, but for right now, that's what I use. And I will not spray it today because I always let my items sit for, like it's the afternoon right now where I'm at, so I probably won't even spray it till maybe later this evening or even tomorrow. And I just kind of like to make sure my napkin is sealed really good before I seal it with spray. So, all right, on to the funness. So, all right, so this just happens to be the most adorable little dachshund. Oops, upside down. I have Doxies, and I sell a lot of crafts with Doxy stuff on it. So this is one of my all-time favorite napkins. So this is what I call the multi-dachshund. I do also have this for sale on my Etsy site. So if you're interested in these napkins, reach out. I got them for sale on my Etsy site. So anyway, so all napkins always come with a ply. Some have 2 plies, some have 3 plies. This one, I think, only has 2 plies, if I remember right. I should know. My gosh, I've used hundreds of them. And I like to separate my plies by putting a little bit of Mod Podge on my finger. I literally just put a tiny bit. I've got this on my YouTube channel, how I separate plies. But I just put a tiny bit on there and kind of smush it together. Smush is a real word. And then I just take the corner and I put my fingers on it and pull it apart. Voila! There you go. And it pulls apart usually pretty darn easy. So I'm just going to pull that apart. I'll put my little spare piece over there. And I can just tell by the way the napkin looks that it is just a 2-ply. So I don't have to worry about anything else. But you always only want to use your top ply. If you use more than 1 ply, you're going to get bubbles in there. You're going to be frustrated, yada, yada. So, so I've got my top ply separated from my second ply. I've got 1 coat completely dried of white chalk paint. I've got 2 coats completely dried of Mod Podge. And so after my chalk paint dries, I put my Mod Podge on there and let that dry completely, Then I put another coat on there and I let it dry completely. Now some people only use 1 coat of Mod Podge. Totally fine. Whatever works for you. I just happen to do 2. So I'm going to take this adorable little napkin and I am going to place him where I want him. And I am going to do him all the way around the bottom, and I'm going to do the sides as well. So there's different ways to do different things, but oh, I forgot my parchment paper. Whoops, let me grab my parchment paper real quick, because you will need a sheet of parchment paper. So we're going to do the iron-on method. So you're learning all kinds of things today. So if you're not used to the iron-on method, you can only do, well, I only do it with dried Mod Podge, and you can only do it on a hard surface. Please don't try to iron something that is plastic or real thin. You know, just it has to be hard. Obviously, you're using a hot iron, so it's going to melt something if it's not a hard surface. So you just take your napkin or whatever you want to, whatever you're Mod Podging. Obviously, we're doing napkins today. And you line it up the best you can. And then what I'm going to do is I'm literally going to take my piece of parchment paper and lay it right on top. So I'm holding it down with one hand, laying my parchment paper on top of it. My napkin is secure by my hand being held there. Parchment paper. Then I'm going to take my other hand and lay up here and remove this hand. And that keeps your napkin from shifting around. So that's all that does. Pretty simple. Yeah, pretty simple. Now I have a small little iron, and I have it on high, but for a long time I only had just a regular old iron. And if you look at any of my past videos, you'll see me using my cute little, I call her my granny iron because she's an old iron. But I finally broke down and got one of these small ones, and I do love it. So your parchment paper is on top of your napkin, and then you're just going to take your iron and you're going to move it very slowly across your whatever you're decoupaging. And what's happening is you are melting that Mod Podge again, which adheres the napkin to your crate. So real simple process, completely common sense here, but that's how you do it. And then I like to do just one more kind of swipe across it. And you can see I'm not moving very fast. And don't iron it though. Don't go back and forth like you're ironing it, because if you do, you've made that Mod Podge melt a little bit. So if you go back and forth, you're going to risk kind of bunching that napkin up. And again, learning from experience here. So then you're just going to move your parchment paper out of the way, and voila, your napkin is stuck on there. Pretty cool, right? Way cool, way cool. So you could just, you know, if you didn't want to do the bottom of your crate, that's totally fine. You wouldn't have to. But just for this demonstration, I'm going to go ahead and do the bottom as well. And same process. So I'm going to just sit this down. It is a little warm. It's not like burning hot, but it's definitely warm because we just used a hot iron. So again, I'm just going to take my napkin. I'm going to pull him a little bit with my hand. Take my parchment paper. You see how my hand on it, right? Now I'm going to take my parchment paper, put it on top, put my hand down, move my other hand, and I'm just going to take my iron and I'm going to go across it. Again, a little bit slow. Make good and sure that I give that heat enough time to kind of melt that Mod Podge. I don't know what else to call it. I just call it melting that Mod Podge, and adhering that napkin down to whatever surface you're working on. So it's really easy to do. This isn't difficult, but you know, if you've never done it before, then maybe it is kind of difficult for you, and hopefully you're learning a little bit from me today. So I consider myself still a newbie. I've been crafting for a little over a year now, and I've just, you know, watched people's videos, and then one day, I don't know, God said, you know what, Becky? I think this is what you need to do. So me and God got a good thing going here, and I've been crafting and trying to learn things and trying to teach things and do some tutorials and some lives, and anyway, so we're not talking about that. We're talking about making a crate. So, all right, so I've got that one on. Now, the cool thing about ironing it on, hope I can see right here. I need to iron a little bit more right there. The reason I'm doing the iron-on method is because Mod Podge obviously is a wet product, and a napkin is a paper product. So when you put paper and wetness together, it kind of crinkles, right? So if that's the look you're going for, that's fantastic. But the ironing method, what it does is when you use the iron, you won't get any wrinkles. You see that? There is no wrinkles in there. It's completely smooth. But the only way you can get that is if your Mod Podge is dry and then you use your napkin. But there are no wrinkles in there. Again, no wrinkles. So that's why I love it, and a lot of crafters love using the iron-on method. Way cool is what it is. Way cool. All right, so you're like, well, you got lots of napkin hanging out there, Becky. What the heck are you going to do with that? So, all right, so this is a really fun part. You can use a sanding block, a fingernail file, an emery board, a piece of sandpaper, but we're literally just going to go around and we're going to cut this excess napkin off using just a fingernail file. I think I got this sucker at the Dollar Tree. I don't know. So you're just going to take it and you're just going to go along it. You could use scissors, but scissors is not going to get you close to the edge like this will. This will get you right up to the edge, and it's going to look oh so awesome. And I'll show you here in just a minute. Now, I wrapped my napkin right, but I can't wrap it up this way because then my dogs would be upside down. So I'm going to have to take another piece, flip it. I'll show you in just a second. So that's why I can't wrap it all the way around like that, which is totally fine. So this is the part I want to take off. So I'm just taking my nail file and going along the edge here, and it's cutting it right off. It is so going to be so goober cute. So cute. All right. So I'm just going around all the edges here and cutting it off. All right, let's see where we are here. All right. It'll just come right off. See how this just comes right off? And if you find a piece that isn't completely filed very well, you just take your file and you just go back over it again. But voila, can you see that? Now I'll go along the top here and take this top part off. Voila, there you go. Cuts it off just perfect, right? Way cute. It is oh so cute. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna do the back side or whatever side. That could be the front side, but we're gonna do this side now. So I'm actually just, before I get started, I'm just gonna take my scissors and I'm gonna cut off this one panel here of the napkin so I don't have quite so much of my napkin there. It's just such a cute napkin though. If you love little doxies like we do here at my house, then you understand how cute this is. Now, this napkin sometimes has some kind of a little flaw in it. I don't know if you can see this. See that little black mark on there? Every once in a while, these napkins have a black mark, and sometimes they have a red mark on them. So I don't know what that's all about. But again, you just want to be careful whenever you're using, you know, whatever napkin you're using, because you don't want it to have something like that on it. So I'm just going to move that little doggy with the black spot on it up to the top. And I have plenty left over here. I have plenty left over. So I'm going to line him up, try to make him as straight as I can. And then I'm going to do the same process that I've been doing. Make sure he's not crooked though. Make sure these little guys aren't crooked. All right, so again, just have my hand sitting on top of it so it doesn't move. Taking my parchment paper, putting it on top. Get it straightened out there. Take my other hand, top, move up my bottom one. Pretty easy, pretty stinking easy. Again, got my little, this is called a cricket. So I don't have one of those crickets or whatever they're called that you can do pretty fonts and things like that. Someday I hope to have that, but I think this probably comes with that product. But you can get these smaller irons online. I was doing a tutorial or a live the other day, and somebody told me that they got their small one at Walmart for not a ton of money. So you probably could just go on Amazon and Google small crafting iron and find one that you would like. So I'm sure there's several out there. Or like I said, you can just use a regular iron. You don't have to have one of these little ones. I just finally broke down and decided to get one, and I really, really do like it though. I like it. It's very lightweight, and I really like it. Works really well. So if you're ever doing this, you take your parchment paper off, and you're like, oh shoot, I don't think that stuck down very well. because I get that too. I have that problem sometimes too. I take it off, it's like, oh shoot, this part didn't stick down. You just put it back on there and just smooth it out. It's pretty easy that way. You just smooth it out. So there you go. So again, stuck like glue, and there's no wrinkles. No wrinkles. All right, so I'm just gonna take my file again, go along it. You could also use the burn method. I'll teach that some other time. But the burn method will take off this excess napkin really fast and easy too. All right, so again, I just went around it. You saw me do it. It's that easy, and you just pull it off. Pull it off. That's it. It is such an easy thing to do, and it's so cool. It's so cool. All right, so my bottom isn't completely torn yet, so instead of yanking that napkin, I'm just going to take my file and go along it again. Make sure we separate it good. There we go. Comes off really easy. As a matter of fact, I can see down here at the bottom, I've got a little piece of napkin here that I need to go back over again. So there we go. Voila. So let me find this bottom spot here. Grab my parchment paper. Make sure it's laying flat. So whenever you do put Mod Podge on whatever you're working on, be sure you go all the way to your edges really good. Be sure you get your edges really good. That seems to be my trouble area for the most part. And it worked. So I just did not iron very good in that corner. That's all there is to it. That's all there is to it. I just didn't iron very good. I'm just going to give it one more good dose here. All right. So then I am going to do the same thing on the ends. You wouldn't have to. You could leave it plain if you wanted to. And some of my crates, I take real small jute and I wrap it around here. It looks like little handles, really cute. So you could just use your imagination. You can make this what you want. You could just paint it. You could put stencils on it. But we're just about done. See, it's pretty fast and easy. It's not difficult at all. Now I've got this little piece of napkin left. I like to try to use every piece of napkin I can, but as you can see, it's too little. It's not going to fit. So we're going to go ahead and just take another piece of this ply, cut it off, rip this little extra piece off there, and do the same thing. Just going to get up here, and I am going to do my darndest. I got this little weenie dog and he's going right over the hole. That's alright though. Alright, same thing. I got him where I want him. Grab my parchment paper, put it on top, remove my hand, grab my iron, and just work my way across somewhat slowly. If you're using a regular iron, just like my granny iron, make sure there's no water in it, no steam at all. You just want to put it on high or close to high. Some people put it on their cotton, on the cotton setting. I don't have a cotton setting on mine. I have a medium and a high, so I can just put it pretty close to high. You want your iron hot. So, all right. He's stuck on. Gonna grab my file, get this excess napkin off, going around the edges. And she should pull right off. So easy. Again, I could never get that close with scissors. There's just no way. Some of y'all might be able to, but I just could not get that close with scissors. Okay, so I kind of cut it out, not from the middle, but a little bit. I'm going to see if I have enough over here, and I don't. So I'm going to use my last ply, or last panel from that particular napkin, and get this little guy put on here. And the way this napkin is, I'll try to explain it. The way this napkin is, I have one over here. You can kind of see at the top, part of my dots and head is cut off, right? But that's just the way this napkin is made. So depending on what you're crafting, just the way they are laid on here, sometimes you kind of cut the little doggy's head off, and it's hard to avoid to do that. So you kind of have to work with it, maneuver it a little bit. But so sometimes his little head might be cut off at the top. So I always try to cover that. I try not to use that very top part. So I get the full doggy. I hope that made sense. I hope that made sense. Yeah, because I don't like to have the head cut off at the very top if I don't have to, you know. You can kind of see here, this little guy, you can see his little feet, but at least I got the whole dog here on this one. This one I purposely did this way, so the whole dog is on that one. But again, just the way this napkin is made, sometimes you may not get the full body, but that's okay. It's still goober cute. This is a way cute napkin. All right, so my last side here, put my napkin on here, and again, I know I won't use this napkin for anything else, so it doesn't matter if I'm kind of, seems like maybe I have an excess of napkin or a little bit of waste, but that's okay. I'll save these pieces because you never know. Sometimes you might need some scrap pieces for a different project that you're working on, and you just, you know, like I can see me maybe working on another project, and I would want to put a dog in on my Mod Podge or my canvas or whatever I'm working on, so I can just cut out a dog. So I always keep my scraps. That's another tip. Keep your scraps because you could always potentially use those on a different craft. So you don't have to use up a whole napkin. But we're just about done with this little guy. It comes out really cute. All right. Doesn't take long. And last but not least, take my little file, going around the edges. Now, this is on my YouTube channel. I am going to take the link and post it out on some of my other channels. But if you're watching this, or you see a reel, or you see whatever you might be seeing, be sure you jump on over to the Sweet Tea Shed. That's my craft site. And take a peek at some of the fun crafts that we do over there. And some of the mess ups that I do. I post my mess ups too. Just like I about messed up there. About messed up right there. Quit talking, Becky, and do what you're supposed to be doing. But part of the charm, right? Part of the charm. So, all right. So there you go. Got him done too. Now, you remember we got these little holes here. So those are goober easy to do too. I just usually take a pair of scissors and poke a hole right in the middle of it. And then you can take your file and you can just go around it. You know, it's kind of like putting your nails on a fingerboard, or putting your fingernails on a chalkboard. Sorry. Sometimes I talk backwards too. And you can just cut it out that way. So there you go. Just cuts it out real perfect. Yeah. Again, there's no way you could cut that really sharp. So just put it in there. You can also, if I was doing the burn method tonight, you could just catch that on fire and it's going to eat up that excess napkin, burn it right up, and take it right off of there. But I do have a couple of videos out there, either on my YouTube channel and or on my Sweet Tea Shed that show the burn method as well. That's one of my favorite things to do too. All right. There you go. And look how cute she came out. Way cute. That fast, that simple. Now, I know I kind of went through that kind of fast, and you're like, geez, Becky, that was pretty fast. But I've done these. I've made so many of these. So, again, sorry if that was too fast. But just to recap, don't I have any of my crates? Well, all I have, oh, here we go. I want to show you what kind of the final products look like. So, covered it with a coat of white chalk paint, dry completely. 2 coats of Mod Podge, letting it dry completely. And I'm fairly certain I either used gloss or matte Mod Podge. Don't really care; it doesn't bother me, whichever one it is. But I used one of those two. Let those dry completely, usually overnight. Then I chose whatever napkin I wanted. Cut it to the size, or no, I didn't cut it to the size, sorry. I used the napkin, put parchment paper on it, used my iron, went one way the whole time. Don't iron it back and forth, go that one way. After I'm done, I just pick it up and I do it again, melting that Mod Podge. And then I just go to the sides. You could do all sides different. You could do Christmas, Thanksgiving, Halloween, you know, whatever. You could just the possibilities are endless. The possibilities are endless. What you can put in them, you can put succulents in them, you can put remote controls. I've got them in my bathroom with like lotions in them. I've got them at my office with like desk supplies and stuff in them. So, and they're wonderful gifts. So if you're interested in something like this one happens to be about $15. I have different sizes. I have 3 different sizes, and this one's $15. But it'll come out and she'll look like this. Once I spray her, it'll look like this. See how it kind of has this gloss on it? That is with the triple gloss spray. So this one's for a customer as well. And this is a larger size. This one is like a 7 by 7 by 5. I only have a handful of these left, and the next ones that I have don't have this on it. It's just straight across. So it's a little bit different, but these are 25. And again, I've got the same napkin on here because I've got customers that absolutely adore this napkin. But these are 25 plus shipping. And I have thousands of napkins. So if there's something that you see that you like that's on my Etsy site or that I'm doing here, reach out. Seriously, send me a message and see if I've got a particular napkin or a particular theme. When I say I have thousands of napkins, I have thousands of napkins. Some I have for sale on my Etsy page. Someday in my spare time, I'll put some more out there to get them sold. But anyway, thanks for joining. Thanks for hanging with me. But yeah, that's how you make these crates. Goober easy, goober cute. Please follow us at the Sweet Tea Shed. And we have a sister site called Crafting with the Sweet Tea Shed, where you can put your crafts out there so the rest of us can see how cute and adorable your crafts are. So again, tomorrow I will spray this with triple gloss spray. I'll do a real fine, real quick spray on here, and I'll let that dry completely. And then once it's dry, I'll do another fast kind of all over spray, and let that dry completely. And then my third coat of spray, I'll do it a little bit slower and get it really good and real glossy. And she'll come out like this, really nice and glossy when we're done. See how nice and pretty and glossy she is? Way cute. That's how cute she is. So anyways, thanks for watching. You guys take care. We'll see y'all next time. Bye, everybody.